So, right on the button means exactly right. So next, the article says, in Europe during the 14th to 19th centuries, women, particularly wealthy women, used to enjoy wearing elaborate items. Interesting. Okay, we have a few words to look at in this sentence. The first is particularly. Spell that. It's P-A-R-T-I-C-U-L-A-R-L-Y. Particularly. It's an adverb, and we use it to point out one particular thing and to emphasize a point, focus on it. For example, we're saying many women like nice clothes, but wealthy woman most of all, or particularly wealthy woman more than others.
OK， 先看一下这个单字的形容词哦 ，particular 呢就是指特别的、特定的。例如呢 ，He does his work in a particular way， 他呢用特定的方法来工作，比方说先做结案再做提案，这样很特别的方法。那呢后面呢加上这个 ly 哦 ，particularly 就是呢特别的这个副词哦，尤其怎么样？课文呢这边说，大部分的女人呢都很喜欢打扮，尤其哦，特别是呢这些 wealthy 这些很有钱的女人。OK，What do we mean by wealthy?
Well, I think you kind of gave it away there in the Chinese explanation, but in English, if you are wealthy, W-E-A-L-T-H-Y, wealthy, you have a lot of money and you can afford lots of nice things. It's pretty much the same as saying rich, wealthy, rich, about the same.
OK， 刚刚不小心讲出来了 ，wealthy 这个字呢，就是形容很有钱的。那你可以更简单，你用 rich 这个单字就可以。那呢，我们 wealthy 这个字呢，如果我们把 y 拿掉呢 ，wealth 呢就变成名词，表示财富的意思。例如呢 ，His own wealth grew due to the high performance of his company。因为呢，他的公司表现得很好，所以他的财富一直增长，越来越有钱了。那呢，很有钱呢，表示就可以买得起很贵的东西哦。那你可以用这个动词 afford 就是可以买得起的意思。OK，if you can afford nice things, this means elaborate items, right?
Yeah, elaborate items. If something is elaborate, okay, I'll spell it E-L-A-B-O-R-A-T-E, elaborate. Something that's elaborate is detailed and complicated and has lots of carefully arranged parts or extra bits. The opposite words would be plain or simple. For example, a plain cake would just have white frosting on top, but an elaborate cake would have lots of decorations and colors and flavors and fruits and all that sort of stuff.
OK，elaborate 这个字呢，就是形容这个东西非常的精细，非常的繁复哦。看到刚刚 Pat 说呢 ，detail 就是很多细节 ，complex 非常复杂的，你就可以想象呢，这些有钱人穿的是那种上面很多刺绣啊，很多珠珠，很繁复的那种设计。那呢，相对于 elaborate，plain 平淡的 ，simple 简单的，这些呢都是它的反义字哦。
Okay, so let's get back to the article after those words. What we know is wealthy women, particularly wealthy women, liked to wear elaborate items. So wearing them, we're talking about clothing, we're talking about fancy dresses and shawls and all this other stuff. Now the article also says they were even dressed by servants. Okay, that means they had people who worked for them for, either for food in a house or a little bit of money, and the women wouldn't put their own clothes on. Okay, so they would have their servants say, "Here, I'm here, put my clothes on me." Okay, and because the clothes were so elaborate, sometimes they needed a lot of crazy stuff at the back and stuff like that. You kind of needed help, kind of like a wedding dress these days.
Okay.
Wedding dresses, that's a good example of elaborate clothes, lots of details, lots of extra bits. And a woman will probably need help to get it on.
There's no way you can put it on yourself.
Yeah, and get it on and get it looking right, exactly. So that's why women had servants to help them dress.
OK， 刚刚课文呢就讲说这个他们有 servant， 就是呢有仆人来帮他们穿衣服，因为这些衣服非常的繁复，就像是 wedding dress， 像你现在这个在结婚礼服穿的。Next, it says it was easier for the servant to have the shirt buttons on the right of the woman's left.
Yes, so for servants, they say, okay, the buttons are on the right-hand side, but they're on the left if you're in the clothes, okay? And you can try this yourself. Take a shirt, hang it up, and use the buttons on it, okay? And this is easier if you're just doing it in front of you for women's clothes than it is for men's clothes. Trust me, I've tried it. And the article explains why, okay? It says that's because most people are right-handed, okay? It's actually about 9 in 10 people. Okay, around 90% of people are right-handed.
Okay, so women had help dressing, but what about men? Article says men always dress themselves, so the buttons have always been on the right.
Again, right-handed people find it easier to do it like that. If you're doing it on someone else, you want the buttons on the other side, okay? Left-handed people, poor people, actually you can get special clothes for left-handed people, so that's okay. But there might be another reason for this kind of design, and our article will explain that next. It says another possible reason has to do with weapons. That's kind of cool. To have to do with something or to have something to do with something means it relates to that thing or it's involved in that thing or the two are connected.
Okay, have something to do with another thing. 中文呢就是说这个什么有关，这个 A 跟 B 之间呢有什么关系哦，这样子的意思。课文呢就是说呢，扣子在左边右边呢这件事情和武器有关系。Have something to do with weapons. OK， 就是这样的意思。Here's how weapons are involved. The article says in the past, men often carried a weapon in their clothing.
Yeah, maybe a gun or a sword. And clothing, C-L-O-T-H-I-N-G, clothing, is another way to say clothes, all types of clothes, or just clothes in general. For example, the mother buys clothing for her young children.
OK, clothing 呢这个字呢和你比较熟悉的另外一个单词 clothes 一样呢，都是指衣服的意思哦。但是呢，它们又有一点点的不一样。Clothes 这个名词呢，就是指衣服、衣物，它可以呢特别指一件、两件，或是说特定的衣服。那 clothing 呢，只是总称，泛指所有的服装啊、衣服啊。所以呢，如果你在讲说我买了一件衣服，我买了一件特定的，比方说我买了一件 T 恤，好了，那你可以说 clothes。那如果呢是像刚刚 Pat 举例说，妈妈呢给小孩买衣服，可能呢她是买上衣啊、买裤子、买5件、买10件，这时候呢你就可以简单的说 clothing 就是泛指所有的衣物，这样就可以了。OK， 回到我们的课文 ，So what does this have to do with weapons?
Okay, our article says buttons on the right allowed a man to do two things at the same time.
Okay, what are these two things? Our article says he could easily unbutton the shirt with his left hand to draw his weapon with his right.
Yeah, because the weapon would probably be down here, sword or gun. So unbutton with one hand and pull it out all together. To unbutton means to undo the buttons so they're not in the holes, and to draw a weapon means to pull the sword, the knife, the gun, or whatever it is from the thing you're carrying it in. So,
Okay. Now we know the reasons, but do we know two reasons? Okay, but do we know which of these two reasons is true?
Not really.
Not really?
Okay, our article finishes by saying, in any case, women these days are probably better with their left hand because of all that practice, okay? They're used to doing those buttons up and down, okay? So they're better at using the left hand than we men are, okay? We started that sentence with the phrase, in any case, okay? It means no matter what the answer is. OK，
刚刚 Pat 解释呢 ，in any case 就是 no matter what the answer is， 中文呢就可以翻译为无论如何，总而言之，不管怎么样哦。OK，we also saw the word practice.
That's right. In our article, practice, P-R-A-C-T-I-C-E, practice is a noun, and it means doing something a lot so you become good at it, like basketball practice or writing practice. Your coach might say, you need more practice. And of course, practice can also be a verb.
OK，practice 呢就是练习的意思哦，它可以当动词，也可以当名词哦。那课文说女生可能比较会用左手，因为常常自己扣扣子，或者是呢像刚刚 Pat 说呢练习打篮球。注意呢练习 practice 后面呢要加上这个 V-I-N-G 动名词，因为它后面必须要接上名词，指练习什么的这个事情。那例如呢你说 practice playing basketball， 注意要用 playing 呢。那还有俗话说呢，俗话说什么呢 ？Practice makes perfect。只要呢你好好练习呢，就会越做越好哦。英文也是一样，多练就多好了。Now it's time for today's For You Chat question.